Let's talk about the major pain pathways. There are two types of major pain pathway, the ascending pathway and the descending pathway. An ascending pathway goes from an area of the body that is hurt up to the brain. A descending pathway goes from the brain back down to the body. In order to understand how these pain pathways work, let's first look at different parts of the brain. The brain has three main parts: the cerebrum, the brainstem, and the cerebellum. Pain pathways use the cerebrum and the brainstem. The cerebrum has many folds, called gyri. An important fold when talking about pain is the postcentral gyrus, which is located here. This is where the brain processes touch sensations and pain, so it is also called the somatosensory cortex. In the somatosensory cortex, different areas are linked to different locations on the body. For example, if you tickle your right wrist, that information is sent here. Or if you bumped your right knee, that information is sent here. The left side of the brain processes sensation from the right side of the body, while the right side of the brain processes sensation from the left side of the body. We'll see why soon. Pain is a safety mechanism. Say you're cooking spaghetti and you accidentally touch the hot burner of the stove with your hand. For most people, their reaction is to pull away from the stove, and they might cry out in pain. This reaction of pulling away helps to prevent further injury. Your hand may also look red and feel hot where you touch the stove. This is due to inflammation, which is one of the body's ways of healing itself and fighting off foreign substances in the body. Let's trace an ascending pain pathway. Our skin is full of receptors that take in information from the world around us. When you touch the stove, pain and temperature receptors in your hand detect it. The sensation is translated into an electrical message that travels through several neurons. A neuron is a specialized cell that carries electrical messages throughout the body. Messages are passed from one neuron to the next through a small space located between neurons called a synapse. The end of the incoming neuron is full of chemicals called neurotransmitters. When the electrical message reaches the end of the neuron, it triggers a release of the neurotransmitters. They cross the synapse and trigger another electrical signal to continue through the outgoing neuron. Traveling from the hand, the message continues up the arm to the spinal cord. If we cut a piece of the spinal cord out and look down on it from the top, it would look like this. There are three major synapses on the ascending pathway. After coming from the hand, the first synapse is found just outside the spinal cord in an area called the dorsal root ganglion. The second synapse is found in an area of the spinal cord called the substantia gelatinosa. At this point in the pathway, the neuron carrying the electrical signal crosses to the opposite side of the body before continuing up the spinal cord. This is why pain signals from the body end up in the opposite side of the brain. The third synapse occurs in an area in the middle of the brain called the thalamus. After the signal reaches the thalamus, it will travel to the related area of the somatosensory cortex. Remember, this is where different areas are linked to different locations on the body. This particular spot is where our hand's painful electrical message is processed. This ascending pathway from the body to the brain is how we feel pain. Now let's talk about a descending pathway from the brain to the body, which stops pain. Imagine you are making your spaghetti and a bear bursts into your kitchen. Our brain knows that running from the bear is more important for your safety than paying attention to your burnt hand, so it blocks the pain to let you focus on running. But how does this happen? The brain sends a signal back down the spinal cord to the synapse on the ascending pathway in the substantia gelatinosa. A third neuron releases neurotransmitter into the synapse that stops the incoming neuron from releasing its own neurotransmitters and inhibits the outgoing neuron from firing an electrical message. The incoming pain signal from your burnt hand stops here and never reaches the brain, meaning that you don't feel the pain. Later, when you're safe from the bear, the brain might allow the ascending pathway to continue again, so you feel the pain and remember to take care of your hand to make sure that it heals. Both the descending and the ascending pain pathways work together to help keep us safe. You can get hurt doing pretty much anything, working on some DIY, traveling on your way to school, or getting in your workout for the week. If your pain pathways are working, you'll know when you need to take care of yourself. But if a pathway fails, you might never even know that you're hurt, and your injury will get worse. So next time you burn yourself making spaghetti, be thankful that that information is keeping you safe.